This is Max Ray, Sea Operations Commander of the Centurions. You're listening to Man and Machine Podcast Xtreme, the Centurions podcast. Power Xtreme!
Hey everyone, this is Man and Machine Podcast Xtreme. We're back from a long break. Thank you for being with us again. It's my co-host Nick, our guest Anson, and me Yuri. We've been gone for a short while because of personal reasons. So there were some medical issues, some family issues, and now we're back with full force and we're ready to jump into the new season with new exciting things to talk about regarding the Centurions. Now, if you remember previously, we talked about the history of the Centurions, also some third-party new figures by Ramen Toy that we got to review, and we were happy that the toy line is coming back. And basically, we're back now to talk about another exciting opportunity for you to get back into Centurions collecting, which is our friend Anson's custom Rex Charger, Crystal Kane, etc. toys that we'll talk about in a minute. But just before that, hey Nick, welcome back to the show. How's everything going with you?
Everything's going good, man. How about yourself?
Can't complain. Get ready to spend more money and time on the Centurions. And let's welcome our guest Anson. Anson's from China, and he's the guy a lot of you have been asking about. He produced the Rex Charger figures, the John Thunder figure, and the Crystal Kane figure with the pets that you could have seen in our Facebook group. But if you haven't found the podcast through Facebook and just stumbled upon it through your podcast program or YouTube, we'll talk about what these new figures are that have been produced in 2024, but look almost exactly like the original Kenner figures from 1986, 87. So, Anson, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing quite great. Thank you for your introduction.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And it's a great honor for me to join you as a member of the big family named Power Xtreme Centurions.
Awesome. Where do you come from? Where are you right now at this late hour? Because we know there's a 12-hour difference between us in America and you.
Yes, I am currently in Guangzhou, a metropolis in China, being located in the southern part of China.
Awesome.
Almost to the southern end of China. The closest city that is well known to a lot of people is Hong Kong. And if we drive from Guangzhou to Hong Kong, it normally takes only less than 2 hours. It is 10:40 p.m. and yes, so I'm quite happy to be in.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, because it's pretty late over there.
Sure thing. My great honor.
Absolutely. So I think let's just start with the most obvious question you could ask a Centurions fan. So what's your first memory with the Centurions? Just to give you a quick introduction. I'm younger than Nick, so to me, I found Centurions in the 90s. However, Nick already was familiar with the show and the figures in the 80s when it came out. So what's your journey with the Centurions? How did you find out about it? How did you become a fan? Tell us about it.
Okay. It was a long story, but I'll cut it short. When I was about 6 or 7 years old, I was a primary school student, and in the afternoon, the national TV showed the animation every every 6 p.m. and it will repeat the replay the animation in the next day at 12 a.m. And so at that time, not only me, my classmates or pals, friends, they were all amazed by the ideas of Centurions. I would say the theory or the ideas of Centurion was unprecedented. It was very impressive to us all. And when we played on the playground, we tend to play some of the roles that showed up in the animation, and it was a lot of fun to us. So since that time, the Centurion had a very good impression deep in my mind. And in about 2015, I accidentally searched for Canon Centurion on eBay, and I found the great stuffs. Yeah, a lot of great stuffs on eBay. I bought some of them, and when I finally got my hands on it, I found the quality. Yeah, no matter the quality or the details, of the action figures were just amazing. And anyway, I was really amazed by both the animation and the toy lines. So, but unfortunately, I found there were some weapon systems or action figures missing for the toy line. So at that time, I was wondering if I can complete, doing that by my own, not for a big ambition, but just for my own collection. So it evolves until now. I can share my product with anyone who are interested in Centurions as well. So that's my basic story about Centurions.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 33.
Oh, you're a young one. Okay.
You're my generation then almost. I'm 37. So yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
I understand.
The reason I ask is because I'm 47. And I think Centurions came out what year? In the 86, the cartoon? So
yeah, 86.
I was
Yes.
9 years old when the
Yeah.
cartoon aired. And so I remember going through a book we used to get weekly in the mail. It was called TV Guide. It would give you all the listings for TV shows that are going to be on television that week. And there was a half a page ad for Centurions, and it was the classic picture of all three of them in their Power Xtreme pose. And it was saying, the ad was very simple: Centurions premiering on Channel 61, 3 p.m., Monday, whatever date. And I remember seeing this picture, and I was like, wow, okay, cartoon looks interesting. So my father recorded it for me on the VHS cassette. You two young guys remember what a VHS cassette tape is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my dad recorded. I still have that cassette tape of the original 5-part miniseries. Still, I still have it. But that was my first encounter with Centurions. I remember watching it on TV when it premiered. I remember seeing the toys in the store when they were first available. I was hooked right away. The only problem for me was that after the 5-part miniseries, the cartoon was run on it was dropped from the channel I was watching it on. It was picked up by another channel, I believe. And the time slots were everywhere. They were everywhere. So I really never got to watch anything other than the 5-part miniseries until about 1990 or the early 2000s when we got Boomerang channel. And then I got to watch the reruns on Boomerang. And Boomerang only played the same 15, 20 episodes over and over again. I had to wait until 10 years ago when I finally got the DVD series, and I finally got to watch the entire series in its, in order. So, but that's why I was asking on the age. It just kind of helps add a reference that, you're 33 and you had a love for Centurions at that young of an age, to the point where you went to produce figures that were never even produced, in when they were on the design table, you weren't even alive yet. So I find that really interesting that, someone of your age,
that's the thing.
would.
That's the thing. Sorry, Nick. I totally agree with you. So basically, when it comes to the Centurions, I was born in October 1986. So basically, the cartoon and the show is like 1 month older than me, I think, or not even a month older. So it's like, as Nick said, he was 9 years old, so he was already around. I'm as old as the cartoon and the toy series, and you are younger than the show. So basically, you kind of revived something that was a plan that never, came to fruition, way before you were born. So yeah, this is very interesting and very true.
He revised a toy line that he was not meant to play with. It was out before he was even born. It was never intended for him to play with. So I find, like I said, it's amazing that you took the time to do it.
And you upgraded them. Yes. So you improved on the design.
Yes. The greatest thing was that the national TV broadcast the Centurion animation in 1996. So I was lucky to watch the animation show at that time. If the animation was broadcast the same year as American, or just 2 or 3 years later than American, I won't have the chance to watch it, and we don't. In this case, we won't meet each other any longer, because in that case, I may not be able to know the Centurions, and we don't have the fate to meet each other this evening on the podcast.
Right, and as a side note, I think it's interesting that basically Centurions was a show that was so widely broadcast in China, because I don't know how like the 80s and the 90s were there, but I think it's a very different show. It's a very interesting show that deals with very futuristic concepts. So I'm surprised that it was dubbed there. And actually, I haven't heard the Chinese dub for the show yet, but I think it should exist, or it exists somewhere on the internet. So let's talk a bit about how we heard first about Anson's figures, even before hearing about Anson himself. It's actually an interesting story that's also connected to Ramen Toy and Noel, who is the founder of Ramen Toy.
Now, Anson, I remember seeing photographs of your work shared online. I want to say a couple years back. Where I saw him, I want to say it was in our Facebook group, but I can't remember for sure. And then I remember in a conversation with Ace over at Ramen Toy, he shared a picture of your figures, and I remember seeing that picture before, and I'm just like, where did I see this picture before? I can't remember where. And Ace was giving us the rundown about how I believe he said he was talking to you, and he met you, and he went over to look at some of your stuff, and he shared that with us, and I remember seeing that before. So when you posted, when your stuff came up on eBay, and that's that caught our attention. I sent you a message asking you some questions, and I mean, you gave me a reply. You were kind of right down to the point on it. Your replies were simple, and you gave me an answer back.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember me and Yuri were talking about it for a while, and then all of a sudden we get a message from Ace over at Ramen Toy in that group chat where he introduced you to us, and that's how you came. I mean, we got to find out all the information regarding your stuff. So I wanted to share that with anyone who's listening over, and people were asking about that, and the Facebook group wanted to know how we know all this information. Well, that's how it came to be. So how did you get in contact, or I mean, how did that all work out with you and Ace on that?
Before I answer your question, I got two. I got two for you. The first one would be, do you still remember what kind of picture? Yeah, I mean the content of the picture you ever saw on the website. Another one is, do you mean Ace is the Neo?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think yeah. So basically, the thing we saw first was, I think, a Fathom fan, and maybe, just maybe, an awesome Auger. But I think on this Chinese only language website, which looked like AliExpress or Alibaba, but it was a different site that was only Chinese language. We could have maybe used a proxy to order stuff from there, but it seemed too complicated. I think it was the Fathom fan.
I see. So yeah, Ace ever contacted me while a software in China because he said he was interested in my new created Centurion stuffs. So we had a very great conversation online, and he asked if we could have a have a real meeting in real life. So we we encountered each other in Guangzhou, the city where I live in currently, and he seemed to be interested in some of my projects. So at that time, I thought there would be a collaboration between me and him. But afterwards, there were some problems for the projects, and eventually, it was unfortunate that we did not collaborate successfully. At that time, we are close friends, even though without the collaboration, and we talked with each other about the Centurions because we share the same enthusiasm for it. And later on, he initiated his own ramen toy Centurion toy lines. And because he thought the smaller scaled action figure would be popular or widespread for a lot of collectors, but my own objective has never changed. I would like to produce the Centurion action figures exactly the same scaled with the Kane ones. So there are some, as you see, there are some differentiations between us. So we did not collaborate. We did not collaborate, but we are close friends. And recently, Ace introduced Yuri and Nick to me, and we had a lot of nice conversations, and they liked the no matter Yuri or Nick, just like the Kane scaled Centurion action figures. So you were very interested in my items and bought those from me, and you had some very good or highly rated feedbacks for my products, and I feel quite glad and honored. So that's the whole process between the story about Ace and me.
And Nick, you probably remember this, and some of our listeners as well, when the idea that Ramen Toy would revive this toy line in their own way came up several years ago, of course. There was this debate once we found out about the details, whether it would be better to have what I call Marvel scale figure line, or
6-inch
scale
square.
or the 6-inch or the original scale.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there were some heated debates in the Facebook group, because some people were traditionalists and they wanted figures that they could display together with the original figures on their shelves. Others were more into, okay, this is a reboot, this is a reimagining visually. And even before the figures came out, we had the chance to talk on this podcast with Noel / Ace, the founder of Ramen Toy. And he gave us specific reasons why he wanted some update to the visuals, and even to the faces, the outfits, the weapon systems, so that they looked like the original toys, but also there was a notable difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, even between Nick and I, there were some conversations about that. And also Mark, our third co-host, whether this was a good business decision, a good creative decision or not. And then again, there were updates to the ramen figures. The colors were updated. The head sculpts were updated. So that was a really good step. But unfortunately, when Ramen Toy tried to produce, I think it was a John Thunder figure in their canceled retro line, it would have been, vintage scale, just like the old figures, but there was supposedly not enough interest in that. So, Anson, what's your take on the, again, being respectful with the amazing work that Noel and his team did, because it's amazing that they brought something back, and the figures are really nice. They play well, they look great, but just your personal opinion with, what do you think? Because you produced obviously a more true to the originals line, let's put it this way, while Ramen Toy updated it and rescaled it. So what was your train of thought, and what's your perspective on both your decision and what they did with their line?
That's a very good question. I ever thought about it. Because they initiated a totally different scaled toy lines. So they have a lot of tasks to do because, the Centurions includes a lot of weapon systems. That means they have a large project involving so many weapon systems. So what I really conscious about is the Centurion fans would have the chance to get all the action figures or weapon systems in 6 inches during maybe in the following 5 or 10 years. So that's the question I'm really concerned about. Because that's a lot of tasks for them to do. But for the 7 inches, just like the original Kane ones, we only need to produce a couple of action figures or weapon systems. And I think this is more, the exciting news for a lot of Centurion fans. So that's my own idea about it. But I would say the 6-inch Centurion toylines are a great choice for a lot of Centurion fans as well, because some people prefer the modern style looking of the Centurion, because they what they expect is a very very deliberated or gorgeous looking in 6-inch action figures, and this is exactly what they get from the Ramen toy. So I would not say which one is better, but I think they both the 7 inches or 6 inches Centurions are great uses for the Centurion fans. That's my own idea about it.
I think it's great that we have access to both, and we'll see, what comes out of your workshop and what they release later on. But it's good that now at least we have the chance to pick both or either of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So now going on, right, onto the process. Nick and I were talking a lot about how this your toy line is produced. So can you talk to us about the production process, what your original production process was way back when we first saw, your pictures, even before Ramen Toy several years ago, whether you updated them or you started with the same method. Tell us about the process of creating these figures.
Okay, I would say the exploration process, particularly for the first Anson Auger, the process was tough because as a personal collector, I don't have the power or strength to manufacture a real toy just like the original Kane ones. That is a big task for me. So I need to investigate the normal toy manufacturing process. So I need to firstly I need to get familiar with the 3D printing technologies. I need to design the 3D drafts, and then I need to print it out. And finally, I need to get the copies of the printed version. But the copy version is sort of different than the printed version, because my requirements are quite simple, just like the ordinary toys, not only the printed ones. That is not that good. So I searched for a toy company and asked if we could cooperate, and I did. I found such a company who would like to cooperate with me, and the manufacturing process is just like the ordinary toys. It would be first I printed the action figures or weapon systems by 3D printed techniques. In the following, the printed stuffs are then used to make celestic molds. We put the printed stuffs in a container and then pour the liquid silicone into this container as well around the printed stuffs. When the silicone are completely indurated, we take the printed stuffs out, and the celestic molds are thus created with spaces that are identical to the printed stuffs. After that, we inject we inject the liquid ABS materials into the spaces of the celestic molds. And normally after 1 day, the ABS materials will be completely indurated, and these will be the accessories of the final product. The last but not least, I assemble all the accessories by my own before the item is ready to be sent. So that's the whole process, manufacturing process.
Okay, so let me try to see if I understand properly here. So the molds you're using now to make the figures, are these like rubber silicone molds that they're pouring to produce the figures, or
Uh, can you repeat that?
the molds they're using to make the figures now?
Yes.
Are they a rubber silicone, or are they like a hard steel resin?
They are rubber silicone, not
Okay,
the hard stuffs. That would be
gotcha.
extremely expensive.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I would imagine that would be really expensive on that one if you were to have steel molds.
Yes.
Next question for me then: when you're casting your figures, are you putting them in the pressure pot to pump out the air?
Again?
When you're doing the figures and you're pouring the plastic
Yes.
into your silicone molds, are you
Mm-hmm.
then putting the molds in a pressure pot to to remove all the air? Because the figures came out, we're looking, the weapon systems and the figures, they look wonderful. I don't see any air pockets that you would normally see. And that's why I was wondering if you're putting pressure on the mold, to push out the air.
Yeah, exactly. That would be true because I would not like to make my items just like a sheet. So I carefully selected the toy company, and they have the very professional instruments. So no worries about the bubbles or something like that. And they are just as good as the ordinary toys on the market.
Okay, yeah, because I noticed the plastic on them was pretty good. I mean, the plastic is good. I said that in my review on the Centurions Power Xtreme Facebook page that, I thought the plastic was good. Not exactly on par with what Kenner used or probably what Hasbro is currently using. Was that a mainly because of a cost savings on that? If you were to use the same style of plastic, it would be far more money to produce, or was it just not available to you? The quality of the plastic,
Yeah.
the density of the plastic, how strong it is. I
Mm-hmm.
see it's not exactly on. It's not the same as what like Hasbro was using or Ramen was using. It seems
Mm-hmm.
just a little bit weaker on the plastic. Is that because of a cost saving, or harder plastic was not available due to the type of molds being used, the silicone molds?
That's also a very good question. Because as you know, the ramen toy, either the ramen toy or even the Hasbro, they are very large companies, and I, as a uh, as a personal collector, I don't have such you know uh, strength or power to cooperate with a very very impressive company in China. So yeah, I would admit that the dance of the action figures or the weapon systems uh, is not as good as either Kenner or Ramen, but for daily playing with, it won't be that a big problem.
Let me ask you this. So basically, we both posted our opinions and our I wouldn't say review because I still have to do a larger scale, photo shoot with the figures that I want to. So we both shared our initial sentiments with the group, and essentially, I think a lot of people were concerned about the plastic quality before they saw our figures that you sent us, and so we were trying to explain what it is and how you intended them to be, and you already sold. I've seen just one person's post pop up this morning on our in our Facebook group.
Exactly.
Being happy. So, did you, from the feedback that you received so far, are you considering any updates or revisions, or not necessarily? This is the second part of the question. Not necessarily based on feedback, but your own experiences. Are you planning on changing anything from the current versions or the initial versions going forward?
Okay. I would say because both the toy company and I are making progress during the manufacturing, and currently, as you know, I bought a GI Joe action figure from the market, and I'm trying to figure out what kind of material it is and share it with the toy company to check if we would produce a quite similar material, just like the GI Joe action figures. For now, I would say the material of the GI Joe action figures is kind of similar to PVAs, if I remember correctly. Yeah. PVC, PVC, I think. PVC.
Right, PVC. Yes.
So I will probably manufacturing the upcoming Amber Terror or a more articulated Drone Thunder with such kind of material. In addition, both of these figures will have a similar articulation as the GI Joe action figures. So yeah, let's stay tuned.
While you brought that up, let me ask you a question. On your John Sunder figure, I remember before I received the figure, and before I even agreed to purchase it, I studied the pictures that you had posted on eBay. I noticed that there were some design changes made from what Kenner was going to do. I mean, it looks like you designed your figure very closely based upon what Kenner was going to release, but you made some changes to it. For example, the hands. I noticed on John Sunder's hands that his hands were kind of open. They were individually sculpted figures rather than how Kenner did it. Kenner did more of a kind of like all the fingers sculpted together, and then you got your thumb, kind of like a little C cup or a C, however you want to describe it. I noticed, like I said, you did yours with your fingers open and all that. Your articulation, while it looked very similar, I noticed that it was different. The Psy articulation looks similar to what Kenner was planning on doing, because I know Kenner was planning on changing things up on the articulation on the size, and you look like you got, you matched the side cuts very similar to what Kenner was going to do, and then you added ankle articulation. And so my question to you is, why did you make the changes? Were you trying to make your own product, or were you trying, like, your original intent to match what Kenner did? I don't know if that makes sense what I'm trying to ask. Why'd you tweak the sculpting on it?
Yeah, so Nick asked whether, like, why you decided to update Kenner's designs. What was your thinking behind it? Was it because you wanted to follow, how Kenner would have updated the toys, or you wanted to, make the figures more modern, or why did you decide to, change small things and upgrade the figures, even though they are mostly, true to the originals?
Okay, I see. Because the John Thunder is sort of different compared with the other Centurions, because he is he probably knows how to act like a kung fu. So basically, I would like to add more articulation to him, so he can display with a lot of different posings, just to comply with his character in the animation. So that's why I brought some new articulation to his, no matter his ankle or his feet point.
No, I understand where you're going with your, I understand your thought process here. I get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you plan on continuing with the same level of articulation for your new figures as well, like updates to, Rex and all the later figures that you intend to release?
I would say I will not make some changes to Rex Charger, because I think the body inherited from Max Ray is good, at least for now at this point, and he does not need a lot of articulations, because he is not a John Thunder, and the John Thunder is he plays kung fu, and that is his features. But this is not the case for Rex Charger. So I will not put a lot of efforts into Rex Charger, because this is effortless for him. And a lot of, I think probably a lot of Centurion fans will not buy this theory if I make a lot of changes to Rex Charger.
Right. By the way, we did have this discussion because, taking the figure in hand, the plastic seems to be thinner than the original figures. Now, I know basically the process is different for you for the John Thunder figure and the Rex Charger figure, because John Thunder is completely your design. Engineering wise, but the Rex Charger is, as you mentioned, it has been adapted from Max Ray. So do you intend to maybe thicken the plastic, or this is the ideal thickness that you thought would work with the figure?
That's a really good question, because I currently just found another toy company with which I created a Crystal Kane. As you since you had got your hands on the Crystal Kane, you may find some clearly difference between Crystal King and John Thunder, particularly the half part, the top half part of the John Thunder. The ABS material that the crystal uses is absolutely denser and more durable than the John Thunder. So in the following, no matter what I create the action figures, I will collaborate with this company, and the quality of the action figures will be a level up compared with the first generation of John Thunder action figures.
Interesting. So basically, what you're saying is that now, since you're working with toy companies, you can increase the volume and produce far more
Exactly.
figures
And
than
the
just by yourself,
material
right?
that the new company uses are way better than the former toy company. So in the next, no matter the new Rex Charger, John Thunder, or Crystal King will all be produced in this company, and the Centurion fans does not need to worry about the break off or breakdown of the action figure anymore.
So is this toy company local to you? Do you just walk or drive over or take public transit over and you can discuss things with them, or they are far away, so it's you cannot have daily contact with them personally?
It's not so far away from my location, so I can drive there. And we had several conversations with the boss, and the boss is a very nice person, and he always he is always happy to communicate with me, and whenever I have some suggestions or ideas, he is always there to hear about my ideas or thoughts. And we this is better than the first toy company. The boss of the first toy company seems to be a little bit arrogant, not like the second one. And the final products of the second toy company is to me very satisfactory. And as you know, they even though they a lot of thin parts of the Crystal King, it will not easily break off. Don't you find it?
Yeah, I think it's quite a durable figure. I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, I noticed Crystal was a lot more durable than John, that's for sure, and Rex.
Yeah, exactly. And we will use the similar material like the Hasbro, the PVC materials. So the products in the future will be more even durable than what it is now.
I'm happy to hear that because I accidentally, when I was taking pictures of my Rex Charger for my for my follow up review, I accidentally broke one of the fingers off of John when I was with the vibro knife, and I'm like, oh damn! So I'm happy to hear that you're going to be improving the plastic on that
Oh
one.
no,
Definitely, I'm happy to hear that one.
Sorry for the interruption.
yeah.
Did you get a broken arm or broken leg for the Rex Charger?
No, me. Oh, that was Yuri. Okay.
No, he had everything was fine on his figures, but when he was trying to put the knife into John Thunder's hand, maybe Nick applied a bit more pressure than the material was able to.
Yeah. No, I mean my
survive, and
package
the
arrived
fingers
was no
snapped.
issue.
Is that right, Nick?
My John Thunder was perfectly fine. Just one night I was playing around taking pictures with the figure, and I was putting them in different poses. And with the vibro knife placing it in the hand, I wasn't careful enough. And I blame myself because, I wasn't paying much attention to it. It was late at night. It was before I was getting ready to go to bed. And I broke the finger off on his hand. I think I broke the second to the last finger off on his right hand. I was like, ooh, damn. But again, as I stated in my review on your figure, it's not Hasbro or Kenner quality, and in these you need to be careful with the figure. So it's what it's my own fault for playing around with it like that. But I'm just saying I'm happy to hear that you're going to be improving the quality of the plastic on it, so something like that might not happen again. So that's wonderful to hear.
Okay. So you mean the right arm of the John Thunder is off from his torso?
No. Just a finger. I broke a finger off the hand. That's all. One little finger I broke when I was taking the vibro knife out of his hand.
A small
snapped
finger.
The finger off. Yeah, small finger. That's all.
Okay, so no worries. Whatever it happens to John Thunder, I will send you a new the new manufactured John Thunder, and yeah, you get a new one. So no worries. And the new
Right.
John Thunder will definitely be more durable than the old ones.
So, I mean, John Thunder, don't get me wrong, the figure is pretty durable. And as I pointed out in my review, I mean, for like basically a one-man job was a small company helping them out. I thought the figure was pretty durable as is. But, again, that I take the blame on that one. That was my fault because I was playing around with it and I just wasn't being careful like I should have. So that was my fault on that one.
Probably that's one of the reasons why I think some toy manufacturers just want to be careful and put this little line on the box that says, "This is not a toy." And I found that funny that for some collectible figures, there's a line on the box clearly stating, "This is not a toy," to probably, kind of set them up to protect themselves against people who are like, but I was just like playing around with the toy, and they could say, well, you were not supposed to play around with a toy. It's not a toy. It's a collectible item. So, of course, maybe for the future, and this is not something on you, it's just maybe to clarify later, both in the podcast now and also when you post these items, maybe to mention, they are durable. They can take some playing, but they're not toys. They're collectible figures. So keep that in mind when estimating how much you can play with them. I think this is something good to know. And then again, we'll see how durable the new factory figures will be. So I think that's just good to know that this is a learning process for you too, an improvement process. You're developing these by yourself, so of course like how it happened to Nick's figure, there might be some minor elements that you'll later work and fix, and
I
so
would say
everybody will be happy essentially.
I know your point, but since I just sold 2 John Thunders, it won't be that big deal for me to replace all of them, because Nick, as you may know, I said earlier to you, the John Thunder is not that durable, and one gentleman, one guy that bought from me had broken arms since he opened up the parcel. So my intention would be simple to just replacing you guys with new John Thunder when it is manufactured. I think it will be done in the following week. So next time when whatever you buy something from me or not buy anything from me, I will send you a new John Thunder, and only in this way can I feel released or feel less anxious. Otherwise, with the fragile toys at your hands, for me, it's not that a good thing. So no worries. Next week, I will send the new John Thunders to no matter you or the other guy who bought Evo from me. So, yeah, let's stay tuned. And I'm pretty sure the new John Thunder will be more durable than the old ones. So you will not ever have any broken fingers anymore.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. So I do plan on ordering a few more items from you. So whenever that happens, you can always, ship it out then. Wanted to ask you about
Nick, don't tell your wife.
Yeah.
Don't tell your wife.
Wanted to ask you about the communicators. How did you come about doing the communicators?
Mm-hmm.
The wrist communicators.
Uh-huh.
How'd you come up with that idea?
Okay. I thought that would be a cute accessory to all Centurion action figures because the communicator was quite impressive to me. When I was a kid, and at that time you can imagine how I would like to own that kind of communicator. I can communicate. I can have video call with the friends, my father, my mother, and my sibling. So that's the stuff I was. That's the real stuff I was really keen for. So when I grew up, and particularly I designed the action figures, I would say why not design a communicator for all of these the Centurion action figures. And since since I was a kid, I would like to own such a communicator. I think the Century action figures would also like to own such communicators as well.
Well, I thought you did a good job on them, and I love how you utilize the peg hole to they lock it into the to the exo frame. I thought that was a great idea.
Mm-hmm, thanks.
Yeah. Although I have to say that it's quite disappointing, that back when we were children, we thought, oh, this would be so awesome. Imagine using your phone to communicate, and receive calls and messages. And, if you show it to a kid nowadays, like a small child, they're like, what's so special about it? It's just, one of those, Google watches or one of those Apple watches. What's special about it? And, to us, it's like science fiction. It's the future, how they say in the cartoon, in the near future. We're like, wow, imagine if we'll have a wrist communicator like that. And it's just a smartwatch, bro. So yeah, I think technology came a long way since we were children, but a lot of these shows I think are amazing because, especially the Centurions, because they kind of discussed topics and talked about things and showed us things which could possibly be the very real future. And, just like this wrist communicator, it kind of became reality. So I think that's a little cute, aspect of the cartoon.
Yeah, that's right. Because, the communicator as one of the inventions in the animation comes to life in modern life. That would be the Apple Watch or smartwatch. Yeah, yes. So the Centurion animation is very predicting for the high technology techniques, and a lot of them
Right.
has been
Absolutely.
can to be real stuffs in our modern life.
So my question regarding the communicator watches, any plans on selling that as a 3, 4, 5-pack? You know what I mean? Selling a bunch of them together as a separate item on your eBay page by any chance?
Can you repeat that again?
Would you consider selling the communicator watches by themselves as a, putting maybe, I don't know, 3, 4 in a pack and selling it by themselves for people who may want to purchase the communicators separately?
Mm, that's a hard question, I would say. For me, I would prefer, giving them as a gift when they buy either action figures or weapon systems from me. But
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that idea. A good idea. That's a way. That's one way to encourage sales. That's a good idea.
That's a really
okay. But if some people wants more from me, I will consider selling the separate communicators, but the price won't be high at all. Maybe $0.5 or $1 at most.
$1, I would be buying quite a few of them to put on all.
Wow,
I
that's
have
very
multiple
generous. I think
Centurions in my collection. I have one figure per weapon system, so I would probably buy quite a few of them.
I think Nick would buy one for his dog, his wife, his family, basically everyone.
Yeah,
just
I would
it's
like
such a good
to
price,
give
to be
all of them
honest.
as gifts to the collectors. But in case some people wants extraordinary a lot of them, so set some barriers, small little barriers, for not demanding them too much, too many. I think.
Now, what was your inspiration
That's
for your
a fun
design?
idea.
Were you trying to base them off the Kenner, like photographs of the unreleased items from Kenner, or were you trying to go more towards the cartoon?
I would say both, because they there are limited amount of photography for photographs for either the action figures or weapon systems. So I have to go back to the animation to search for more details about the action figures or weapon systems. So I would say the items I am selling is a combination of both the kernel prototype and the animation. For example, the color of Gatling guard is just the color from the animation, not the dark blue just shown in the official uh, photos for the Gatling guard.
I know if you did the same with the John Sunders weapon system. The colors, yeah, Silent Arrow. Thank you. Was different
Silent
colors
Arrow.
from the
The
photograph toys versus the animation.
Exactly.
So, and I think it's actually interesting how I think this is a typical toy manufacturer, toy company tactic. You've seen it in G.I. Joe, you've seen it in Transformers. Basically, redecoing, recoloring certain figures because they have already invested into the mold, and this way they can make more money off of it. So I'm curious, for those collectors who are actually buy the figures and fall in love with them and want another in the catalog colors, because to be honest, I don't know what happened there. It would be interesting to find out from a reliable source why Jake Rockwell, Ace, McCloud, Rex, Max Ray, all the original figures look the same in the cartoon as in the toy catalogs. Why the same didn't happen for Rex Charger and John Thunder, how their weapon systems look different. So, it would be, I think there would be people like me maybe, who would be interested in having both color schemes. What's your take on potentially releasing, once you sell a lot of, let's say, Gatling guards, maybe recoloring it into the catalog colors, into the test shot colors, and selling them again for collectors who want to have both colors, or specifically the catalog colors instead?
I see what you mean. For now, no one except you asked me about this point, I would say the demand is quite small for the dark blue color that is exactly on the the Canon brochure. I will consider, but for now, since not only you would like to ask if I will manufacture the dark blue color of the Gatling guard. So I shall see to if more people appears to ask me about the color. I will consider. Yeah.
I think why people haven't asked you about it is maybe they don't have direct communication with you, only the people who found your eBay store. And also a lot of people are not aware that there was an alternate color scheme for that weapon system. They were like, oh yeah, I remember this guy, but I haven't seen his weapon systems in the stores. Oh, this guy is releasing them now, that's cool, oh, let me get one. But they aren't aware that there was a toy catalog. So even those toy catalogs, I think one recently sold for $150 or even more, where you could see the only pictures existing, official pictures of these weapon systems, in the dark blue color scheme. So I'm thinking it's maybe just a lack of awareness that there are two options, or there were two colors considered, one in the cartoon, one in the canceled toy. So maybe that's the reason why nobody asked, is because they were just not aware. If you ask, I think many Centurions fans don't even remember the two extra characters, Rex Charger and John Thunder, because they remember the main three guys. But I think that's one of the reasons, I don't know what you guys think, why Ramen Toy had some difficulties maybe selling their John Thunder toy, because since it was season 2, a lot of people don't really remember those guys as vividly and don't have nostalgic feelings about them, even if they remember them as the original 3 guys, because they were just not.
I don't think it was season 2. They were just like, I think it was like the last 5 episodes that they appeared in. It was still in the same season. They were, like I said, it was like the last 5, maybe 6 episodes that they appeared in, out of like 40 episodes for the whole, or is it 40 or 60? I can't remember how many episodes. I think it was like 65 episodes altogether for the entire series, and these guys were only in like 5 of those 65.
Oh, that's even less than. Yeah. So basically, yeah, like I wonder if you guys agree that maybe it's because people just don't remember these guys, because I think a lot of people remember seeing the majority of episodes, not necessarily the final episodes. And
well, it's the main 3 are the iconic characters, and plain and simple. So yeah, a lot of people probably didn't even realize that Rex and John were even members of the group. So I would definitely cough it up to what you were just saying.
And the same thing, I think with Amber, Crystal, Kane, people remember her. I think most people who remember the main 3 guys remember Crystal. Now, when it comes to the pets,
Lucy.
Maybe some people, Lucy and Shadow. So I think some people might remember, Shadow, because Shadow had the rocket launchers and, took part in the action. Lucy, I think still a lot of people remember. But for example, Amber, who of course to us is an iconic character, might not be that memorable because she wasn't in that many of the episodes. So I think that's probably how, people kind of figure out what they want to get. And so, yeah. I think, unfortunately, these 2 unreleased characters suffer from just not being known, probably.
Right. The Amber, I asked a lot of Centurion fans, and the majority of them will say, did this character really show up in the animation? And they even don't have a memory about it, about her. So I will if I manufacture Amber, I will only produce a small number of for her. In case there would not be so many people knows so many people know her or even would like to buy her.
So speaking about future plans, right now that sales are starting to happen for you, and the future looks optimistic. What are your plans, both immediate plans and maybe future plans for you and your Centurions figures?
Okay. Thank you for your question. Uh, in the near future, hopefully within this year, I will manufacture the Thunder Life and the electro charger and the Strato Strike that are still missing for our collection. Uh, and I think it will not have any problem producing them within this year. The only thing is the only thing I am really concerned about is the method or the selling ways that I would that I would like to post on the internet, because the eBay seems to have a lot of restrictions on my account. I don't know why. Probably I'm a new seller, or yeah, not making a lot of profits for it. That's why it places a lot of restrictions, or yeah, a lot of problems on my account, which stops me listing new item links on eBay. So that's what I am really concerned about. The for the future plans, for the future plans, besides for the selling the Thunder Life, Strato Strike, and electro charger. I would also like to design the Skyvolt space station. But now it
Wow.
is only a draft at this moment. But since I have produced or designed all the important action figures or weapon systems, why not a Skyvolt for all the Centurions? That's my future plan, ideas, or thoughts.
Interesting. So, people, you heard it here first. Thunder Knife, Electro Charger, Strato Strike are in the pipeline. Hopefully, Anson will have the time to, drop them one by one and make them available. Now, again, some of us collectors, I think it includes not only me, but Mark and Nick. I think we like to, look at these catalog images and look at the other unreleased toys, and we're like, oh man, I wish this was released or that was released. And of course, there are some characters, I'm sure Mark would be able to mention some that have not been released but are featured in the stories. But to stick to the toys that have been considered as the potential future releases by Kenner that were canceled. Among those toys, there are these upgrade packs to the original weapon systems. So, for example, for Jake Rockwell, there's an upgrade. There are pictures of an upgrade system to Fire Force called Land Laser. And for Sky Knight, for Ace, there's Aero Salt, and for Cruiser and Max Ray, there's the Aqua Blazer, which are not complete weapon systems, but just like extra hoses, extra little bits to upgrade them. Have you considered also producing these Now I'm thinking they would be interesting for people who already own the original figures, don't want a big investment first, but maybe you could sell them as smaller packages or smaller items, and it would be just like a funnel to get people excited and maybe invest in the bigger packs. What do you think of these small accessory packs, essentially?
Okay. For the small packs, for the small packs, they are not that complicated for me to produce. In other words, they are quite simple. I think I will produce them as well. Probably, I hope. The only thing is, are there enough amount of people interested in this kind of accessories? Maybe we can initiate a poll to ask them if they are quite interested in this kind of stuffs. If they do, I will consider putting them into some the accessory to the no matter the Anson Auger, Fathom Foil, or Strato Strike to be with this kind of heavy weapon systems, and as an alternative way, I can sell them with amber, or other ways I might think of after our interview. Who knows?
Interesting. So just to be respectful with your time and our listeners' time, I think we're going to wrap up slowly this episode. But I think if you are open to it, we can have you back for another episode after you sold more figures and people have more feedback and, more importantly, more questions. So we'll have probably a poll about what would you like to ask Anson, during this Q&A call. But I already have 3 questions I think that came up, and I thought would be interesting to ask you, when we posted our initial pictures. One of the questions was, have you tried using the power pack with these figures, and do they work with the power pack? Now, I know that the shaft inside the figures allows at least my Rex Charger figure to work with these rotating elements, but can you talk about both the power pack integration and your perspective and plans with this rotating shaft inside the figures and how it interacts with the weapons?
You mean the power pack, that the compatibility of the power pack to this weapon systems I created?
Yes.
Okay. At least for Anson Auger, I think it is quite compatible with this power pack. I can share with you the video that the power pack comes with the Anson Auger, and the effect of the spinning of the auger was just terrific, and it won't have any problems with that power pack, at least for Anson Auger. I haven't tried that for Fathom Foil or Gatling Guard, but I don't think that would be a big problem because they are, wait a moment. The gimmicks of the gimmicks hidden in the Gatling Guard, also Auger, Fathom Foil are quite similar. So I think the these three weapon systems are all compatible with the power pack, and I would do the same for the Strato Strike and the Thunder Life. So that two weapon systems would be compatible with the power pack as well.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that would be an interesting concept, because if you could maybe do you have a power pack
I do.
to maybe, and I think maybe it would be interesting also to create a Facebook page for your uh, content, or we can help you if you would like to just post first in the group, I think, or just send it to us and we'll post it for you, whatever is most convenient for you. To maybe record a video or two using the power pack with your weapon systems, because this way people would be able to see, oh, I'm not going to break my figure if I buy it from Anson and then I add the power pack. Because I think, yes, with awesome Auger, and with probably the John Thunder figure and weapon system, I think it probably would work. Having the Gatling guard in hand. One thing is that it's heavy in a good way, so there's stuff in it. You feel that it's robust, and that's a really good thing. But I'm curious, like, because of the robustness of the whole rotating system for the Gatling element, whether the power pack would be able to handle that without breaking itself or the weapon system, because I think you need to kind of press with a certain level of strength that button down to rotate the Gatling guards rotating spinner thing. Do you think you could be able to maybe do a few test videos with the power pack to kind of make people comfortable with trying the power pack without the fear of breaking their weapon systems or their power packs?
Sure, no problem. I will do that.
Awesome, thank you.
And I also regarding the your question about the getting guard, I did not realize there was actually something like an instrument. No, I mean the instruction to the Gatling guard on website until I finished the design of Gatling guard at my site. I realized I know what you meant. You mean there is a something like the energy chamber that a flashlight when you spin the missiles, right? Do you mean that?
Yes, and it's interesting because basically your weapon system does something that the original weapon system doesn't, which is there's a button and that makes the whole Gatling chamber rotate, which is awesome. And also there is this flashlight energy plus missile launcher feature that the original was supposed to have, I think. So you were talking about that you discovered that information after you produced your Gatling guard. So what are your thoughts about maybe that functionality, adding that to yours, or just what do you think?
I would say it is possible to add that functionality because as you may notice for the chamber or the gigantic laser gun, the column like stuff that is right above the canopy. There is enough space for the column-like chamber, and I can install a small device that can achieve the flashlight function. That is not difficult, and it is achievable.
Oh, awesome. And what do you think? I know it's a different challenge, and of course, using spring-loaded missiles is probably complicated to put in. But do you think that will be also possible, or that's something that would overcomplicate the toy?
You mean on the Gatling guard?
Yes, because I think we saw the same information from the Wikipedia, the fan-made Wikipedia page of the Centurions, and it says that there was supposed to be a spring-loaded missile launcher. So when the missile is launched, that's when the flashlight turns on. So do you think there's any way of putting a missile launcher into that chamber or integrating a missile launcher function?
I think I can only achieve one of the functionalities because there is some space, but not that much space for the two functionalities at the same time. So I would choose one of them to be installed at the column-like firing chamber.
Awesome. That's interesting. Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, because I think some people were asking about it. Maybe I think it was Mark, our
Mm-hmm.
co-host, because he's an expert in these things. So I think, yeah, Nick was asking about the online availability of your store and how people can buy stuff from you. Can you share some plans, maybe, or the best way of reaching you, buying stuff from you?
Yes, I think uh, operating on eBay is sort of complicated for me because it constantly or regularly put some restrictions on my account, which makes me nuts. I will uh, definitely consider other ways of selling my items. For example, you ever mentioned a website that encourages people to sell their custom-made products. Didn't you?
I
Yes, I
believe
think
you
it's
already
called,
mentioned Etsy.
Etsy. Yes.
Okay, then I will. Let's talk that later because eBay is not a very good place to sell the products. I'm fed up with the constant restrictions.
Understandable. Understandable.
Okay, I mean, I don't think I did a lot of I did something wrong or something illegal on eBay, but after uploading my passport photo and ID photos, they still put a lot of restrictions, and I don't know why. And they asked me to apply for clarification on their website on June on the 8th of June, and hopefully I can recover from the restrictions since this application. If not, yeah, whatever. Um, I will initiate a new account at the website that you ever mentioned, and this is all good for us. Not no matter to the collectors, but to me, to all of us, because there is no, I think no the deal charges or the purchase fees that the eBay normally requires, right? On the website you ever mentioned that encourages custom made products.
Yes. Yes. So right now, when people want to buy stuff from you, they should still go to your eBay page, or what's the way you recommend people find your items?
I think the best way is the website that you ever mentioned. eBay is not a good way for us to transaction to do the transaction. Um,
Okay.
eBay is only a way for me uh, to advertise my products but it's not a perfect place for transaction, I think.
Okay, so you will move on to a new platform, so people should not be looking for you on eBay. But once you set up the new platform, possibly Etsy or whichever you prefer, we'll share the link to that. Also, one more question on my side, because I was taking some notes when people were commenting on our reviews with Nick. There are various forms of the same question, but maybe you can address them quickly together. Some people asked, would you be able to reproduce the original figures, the original, three members? Some other people say, oh, would you be able to create or recreate the original characters, but with different paint applications, different colors? Some people were like, can you make the original members glow in the dark, just like you did with Rex Charger? So basically the same questions pertaining the original cast, the original three characters. Do you have any intentions of recreating either the original characters in some form, any form, and or the original weapon systems? I'm talking, Fathom Fan, not Fathom Fan, I'm sorry, but
Seabat,
Nick help. Yeah, Seabat, thank you, Seabat,
Swing
for
Shot.
example. And swing shot, yes, thank you. So, do you have any intentions of releasing things, or releasing items that have already been produced in larger or smaller quantities, or you're solely focusing on unreleased items?
Yeah, I ever considered um, manufacturing the seabed and swing shot because they are quite rare in the market, and the price is astonishing. So yeah, if a lot of people would like to buy at a fair price, I will consider manufacturing to a small amount of swing shots and sea bass. So probably I think I would. But on other hand, if I manufacture or produce swing shots or sea bass, would it be offensive to the collectors who bought these two web systems at very high price? That's the question I need to care about. So for now, I cannot answer that fully, but it is possible, I would say.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that is very considerate of you, because if people paid a lot of money for the originals, some might feel offended, some might be like, hey, the more the merrier, and there's only limited supply. I think the most difficult to obtain and the most expensive is the Doom drones, the traumatizers. So basically, I think those might be the best point of attack if you want to release something that's very rare and very difficult to get. And I think because it's a reproduction, people will be like, okay, this is not Kenner quality, that's why it's cheaper, and it's a reproduction. So I think maybe those traumatizers might be an interesting area to discover. Before we wrap, Nick, any further questions on your side?
Yeah, the most common questions I've
Okay.
received and I've seen people post in our Facebook group is price tags. How much does this stuff cost? Would you like to give a rundown of what you're offering currently to sell and the price points?
Okay. Um,
If not, you don't have to. If you're not settled on your prices and you don't want to discuss them right now, that's fine. You don't have to answer. But if you want to, you're more than free.
as I said to you earlier, because the amount of collectors is not as large as that of Transformers. So I only produce or manufacture for for 1 or 2 dozen of the items. So that would make the original price very expensive. Um, this is something that I cannot control. But more people, uh, if more people are interested in my own created weapon systems to some amount, for example, 100, 200, I will definitely put the price a lot way lower than it is now. So it depends on the amount of collectors that are interested in my items. But for yeah, that's it. Currently the price will not change that much, but once a lot of people seems to be interested in, and if they order the items, I will collaborate with the toy company to reduce the cost of each unit, and finally they would get a cheaper item compared with the price of it now.
Interesting. So right now we're recording this in June of 2024. Can you tell us, for the items that are available now or you're intending to sell very soon, what are the prices that you're offering these items on?
Okay, what I'm selling was it is or available includes the Crystal King and Shader and Lucy, Rex and his Gatling Guard, John Thunder and his Silent Arrow, Anson Auger for Jake Rockwell, also Fathom Fan for for Max Ray. Each of the price would be for Fathom Fan or also Auger, the price is $200, and Crystal King and the two pates are $150. John Thunder and his Silent Arrow is 150 either. The most expensive would be the Gatling Guard and the Rex Charger. The price would be $320. In the near future, as I said earlier in this interview, there will be Strato Strike for Ace McLeod, electric charger for Rex Charger, and the Thunder Life for John Thunder.
And when do you think you would be able to put those on the market? When will those be available?
For the last three weapons that is about to be produced, I think it will be available in the third or fourth season of this year.
Awesome. Thank you for offering your time, Anson. This was very enlightening, and I think if people are interested in getting to know more about your figures or actually buying the figures, if this podcast episode was not enough for them, they can just look at all the other people who bought the items and figure out for themselves if they want it or not. We so far are really happy with our copies. So again, thank you for explaining a lot of these things to us. Are there any final notes or anything before we wrap up that you would like to share with the people listening?
Okay, one thing I need to add is that the price maybe maybe there will be some changes because a lot of because the eBay requires a lot of fees for the transaction. So if we move the transaction from eBay to another platform, the price will be lower. And if, as I said earlier, if more people, to some amount of people, if they are interested in purchasing my items, the price will definitely be lower than what it is now.
And how would shipping be done, or how do you do shipping?
Okay, I can send internationally. I have been sending to Canada, United States, United Kingdom, and United Arab Emirates. So to worldwide is not a problem.
Awesome. Cool. Then again, thank you for your time, Nick. Thank you for collaborating on this. And guys, I hope you got all the answers to your questions that you had. If not, hit us up either in the comments or find us in the official Centurions Power Xtreme Facebook group on Facebook. Thank you for tagging along with us. And until next time, Power Xtreme.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure. Nice meeting with you online.
Power Extreme!